What up, fam? It's me, Mercy. How's it going? Today we have a special episode with our good friend Steve. We're going to be talking about Rick Simpson oil and the benefits of Rick Simpson oil, and also the history of Rick Simpson oil. My good friend Steve, want to come over here and take a seat so we can introduce you? What's up, Steve?
Hey, Mercy.
What up, man?
Good to see you.
Welcome. You go ahead and introduce yourself to our friends.
Hi, I'm Steve. Been doing the cannabis business thing for probably about 35 years. Started out with complete prohibition, and then full circle, here I am sitting, in a world that is going through a legalization process. Makes me very happy.
Nice.
But the thing we wanted to talk about today, Mercy, is some of the history of Rick Simpson oil. For those of you in the audience that don't know what Rick Simpson oil is, it's a full plant extract from marijuana plant that includes all the cannabinoids. I'm not sure how many there are. I think there's 114. Nowadays we've isolated one of them, which is CBD, but for the Rick Simpson oil to be effective, you have to have all the cannabinoids working together. CBD is a great product because it helps with pain, anxiety.
So every part of the plant, the leaves, the stalk, the flower,
The only thing used is everything minus the water leaf and the stalks, and of course any seeds that might be in there. And what we do is we take a full plant extract. We use full pure grain alcohol, and what happens is we have a recovery system for the alcohol. So once the alcohol is out, we have a pure oil product left. Rick Simpson was a good innovator of it, but the original source of the oil, believe it or not, is almost 4,000 or 5,000 years old. It's almost the exact recipe of anointing oil that was in the Hebrew Bible, and the actual recipe is there for anybody to read. So what we've done is we were the ones.
So when you say the Hebrew Bible, are you talking about the anointing oil that was given to Moses?
Yes, it was. It's the original Hebrew Bible. Anyone that looks that up on a Google site, it'll take them right to the anointing oil recipe.
Wow.
And that's pretty amazing, that something like that's existed for this long, and we haven't realized what the potential of it is until the last 10, 15 years.
So the Israelis that were putting these ingredients together, that were reading the Hebrew Bible, were they also the same scientists that were doing the experiments on the rats?
Rats, mice, small animals, they were isolating almost every kind of cancer cell there was that they could isolate, and seeing what would happen when the anointing oil or the Rick Simpson oil came into view or came up to them for their fight, and how it killed and isolated almost 90% of all cancerous cells.
Wow.
The Israelis are real innovators. A lot of people don't know. They were the first ones to start studying it as a medicinal product. And they were 15, 16, 17 years ahead of all of us. At the time, I had some pretty smart predecessors that I worked with. Timothy Leary, which was called the Brotherhood at the time, which we shouldn't have been doing, but we were. We were bringing in the first Thai sticks. We were bringing in Nepalese temple ball hash.
Whoa.
We were bringing in loose ganja. At the time, we were bringing in
Also
some
R.S.O.
best products there. The R.S.O was labeled different.
From Israel.
Well, the thing about the Israeli connection was part of Timothy Leary's group had friends there that were studying marijuana. They got one of the scientists to come to Nepal to make the oil.
Can you explain to the audience who Timothy Leary is and his background? That way they know that he's a reliable.
Timothy Leary, that's another thing that everyone should Google and educate themselves on, because he was the guy that actually got this started. He was one of the hippies, one of the big guru hippies back when the Vietnam War was happening.
He was a doctor at Harvard, right?
Yes, he graduated one of the highest in his class from Harvard. He had a motto, and the motto was turn on, tune in, and drop out.
Nice.
Which meant get away from all the BS that's in the world, the Vietnam War that's happening, all the government, government seizures, government everything. It was all government. He stopped that flow. He also was very adamant about having the best cannabis products that could be acquired. That is why he was bringing Thai sticks. That was why he was bringing the oils. They brought an Israeli scientist over to Nepal to make the oil. And the oils were sent over here. There was honey oil. I'm sure all you old people, I'm giving up my age now. There was honey oil, there was regular oil, there was oil named attar, which was closest to the Rick Simpson oil because attar meant a tar. It's almost like a tar. So, jumping forward a few years, the Brotherhood dissolved. They got in trouble for everything. I managed not to get in too much trouble over any of it. And I noticed, though, during the time that people were buying the oil, a lot of them were coming and telling us, God, I used to have these pains and aches, and we don't have them anymore. I went to the doctor, my cancer's gone. I put this stuff on melanoma on my face, on my hands. It's disappeared.
Wow.
It really intrigued me, Mercy.
And you've helped a lot of proactive people in culture, right? Like some famous people that you're not allowed to say.
Well, I mean, look at Ed Rosenthal. I was honored and privileged to have him come into my home when I lived on the island of Maui.
Ed Rosenthal was actually the person that wrote How to Grow Cannabis, right?
And he's in every issue of Culture magazine and High Times magazine. He has his own article, and it's still running to this day, and it's titled Ask Ed.
And it helped save his life, Ed Rosenthal?
Not that I know of. The people's lives that have been saved are people that are in, first, second, third, fourth degree, or fourth stage cancer. And it's just a miraculous thing. People say there's no magic left in the world. People say there's no cure-all. Everything is snake oil, okay? Yeah. But the thing is people process things different. Some people don't wake up with hangovers, right? Some people do. The oil works for 80 to 90%. I'm sure that the testimonies that are going to follow this interview with me of some of my patients that I have helped will really turn you into thinking in a positive way and maybe accepting some of these people's statements when you hear it.
Yeah.
I'm just real happy they're going to be coming and talking with us too.
Yeah, I'm excited too. It's a beautiful thing because in the Bible, anointing oil was used to pray and heal the sick. And it's a beautiful thing to know and see that people are starting to realize that ingredient, and even the anointing oil itself, has the power to heal people that have cancer. And that's a beautiful thing.
It's the worst thing in the world to have.
But
we're finding out it's the easiest thing to treat if your body will accept that treatment. Like I said, some people get hangovers from drinking, some don't. Not everybody processes it the same, but I'm sticking to the 80 to 90% success rate with people that I've worked with and their results.
That's really beautiful. So you were talking also as well that the Israelis helped create this R.S.O oil, but where was Rick Simpson's role?
Rick Simpson, he's just one of the nicest guys in the world. He in fact, to this day, he makes his own oil and still gives it to people for free. Okay, I know a lot of people are going to dispensaries and paying 40, 50, 75 bucks a gram. And that's not a compassionate thing in my eyes. People should be taught how to make their own oil or have it given to them for a very, very low profit margin. And that's it really bothers me. But that's okay, because the more educated people are, I think everybody will be a lot happier.
Yeah.
Now with Rick Simpson, he was really, I'm not sure if he got it from us, I'm not sure if he got it from the Bible, but he created his own extract of oil, and it's ended up being Rick Simpson oil. But the thing is he tried it on himself first, and he had melanoma on his face, I think it was, or something, and it was gone, within a week. He'd been treated and said he was going to die and blah, blah, blah. So he started helping other people that had some of the same symptoms, some cancerous problems, and lo and behold, he lives in Nova Scotia, right by Canada up there. But lo and behold, here comes doctors and patients and all these professionals to him going, what did you do? You know, here's the x-rays of this stage 4 cancer patient, lung cancer, and it's gone, you know. They were so intrigued and so interested. And, you know, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police came in and busted him, took all of his pot plants that were in the backyard that he used exclusively to make oil to give to people, was charged with many crimes, administering medicine without a license, making false statements about what properties in this product could achieve. You know, it's been a long, hard road for him. I'm glad he's getting the accolades for it, though, because, you know, he brought it to the forefront, the attention of the world.
He wasn't afraid?
No, and you can't be afraid, because fear is just something that you don't understand. And if you understand what your fear is, you don't have that fear anymore. And this is what he's taught me, anyway. And I'm not a doctor. I know how, I'm the guy that knows how to process Rick Simpson oil, well, you know, or anointing oil.
Yeah.
But I don't take any credit for anything, and if people can use it and it can help them, that's what makes me the happiest.
That's a beautiful thing. And cannabis, or cannabosum as the Israelis found out, is that it could heal, it was something beautiful to heal the world.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Well, look at Genesis. You know, God put every seed, plant, fruit on the earth for us to use.
Yo, who the fuck fucking mistranslated that Bible verse when God clearly said?
It was a Greek translation when they translated it into Greek, and then the Greeks took it and translated it again, and it lost its meaning. The word that they use is it's a plant that's like papyrus, and it grows on the riverbeds and stuff. That isn't the true
Wow.
translation. What's neat to think about, though, Mercy, is can you imagine Jesus or one of the Hebrew priests coming up with a big glob of this oil and putting it where your third eye is to anoint you? Can you imagine people that have never used any cannabis product? Of course, you're going to feel it.
Yeah.
You're going to change your way of thinking.
Yeah.
You're going to believe in God, you know.
Yeah. You got to, because, you know, in a sense, you're able to see the bigger picture of things.
Absolutely. It takes there's a big false facade on the truth.
There is, isn't there?
And this oil, people are knocking on that facade all the time with their little hammers, but this oil is like coming in with a power washer and just getting that facade off of the truth for people to see. You know, and it just makes me happy for that. I'm not rich. I'm not in it for the money. The best feeling I get is when someone calls me up and says, "Hi, Steve, I love you so much. Thank you. My doctor told me to tell everybody goodbye and to get rid of all my things." They told me 5-6 months I wouldn't make it. That was 5 years ago, Steve. Thank you so much. That's my enjoyment. That's my happiness, you know.
Yeah.
I sure wish I could share it with everyone. I'm just one man. I can only make so much and help so many people, but if we get something going with this,
You can help the world.
you can help the world.
That's beautiful. And cannabis is healing people. And so mind, body, and soul. People's bodies are getting healed from R.S.O oil. And then even on a spiritual level, sacrament, and how it heals people's minds. And then your soul, you become more self-aware, like you get to understand yourself more.
Like the facades we were talking about, it knocks a lot of facades down that people can really benefit from also.
Yeah, Steve. Wow. Yo, I love you, Steve. So Steve, thank you for coming on our show. Thank you for being able to share all that information. It's very important that people who are going through sickness know that cannabis-Sacrament in R.S.O oil can heal people. And that's what it's meant for, is to heal people's mind, body, and soul. Do you want to say anything else, Steve? You want to bless anyone else with some more wisdom?
The only wisdom I claim is the wisdom of people's healing, and as much as I can do that for anyone, I'll do it.
Alright, we love you, Steve.
Love you
for
too.
coming on.
Oh, thank you, Marissa.
Alright, that's it.